Hello there and welcome Harry Potter fans. I'm Doris Bender from Library Arts and today we're going to create a drawing of Harry Potter's most loyal companion, Hedwig, his loyal owl. So we're going to reimagine Hedwig as a brightly colored owl instead of a white one, and we're going to be using some beautiful bright colors. We're of course going to have his mail, which he's always delivering for Harry and retrieving for Harry. And then if you like, as an option, since we're going to start on white paper, draw, color in the owl. If you choose, you may cut out the owl afterwards and then mount it on a darker sheet of paper. That's completely optional. I look forward to working with you, and thank you for joining me today. Okay, let's get started with our Hedwig the Owl drawing. You'll need a sheet of white copy paper. This is vertical in orientation or portrait style. You're going to need a pencil. And for this part of the program, at the very end, you'll need a black marker. We're going to hold off on the colors, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to actually have Hedwig holding an envelope. So the first thing we're going to draw today is the envelope. We're going to start with two straight lines, and you'll notice that they're going at a diagonal. And leave that space in between them because that's going to be important for the beak to come in later to show that Hedwig is clutching onto the envelope. We're going to take those two straight lines at a curve at either side, like this. Keep it light when you're drawing this at this point because you want to be able to erase if you make any mistakes. Come down straight, about the length you think an envelope might be, okay? And a curve on the bottom, another curve on the bottom, and now you're going to connect those two lines. We're going to add a little bit more detail to our envelope now by bringing the flap of the envelope in with two diagonal lines right here. And to add a kind of a look of a wax seal, we're just going to draw, well, I'm just going to draw sort of a blobby flower shape. You could do a star, you could do a heart, whatever you want. Okay, now let's turn our attention up here to Hedwig's owl and owl head and body. So we're going to start by making a very light arch, almost like you're making a rainbow arch, okay? And we're going to take that down to about the edge of the corner of the envelope here. We're just going to put a jagged line to suggest feathers. We're going to take the other one down, do a similar thing. We're going to come in. We're going to put a few jagged lines, and that just sort of defines the head there a little bit. Let's bring that beak in. The beak is overlapping the envelopes. You're going to come down with a curve. Now we're only going to see the top of the beak because the other part of the beak would be behind the envelope, hidden. We're going to give it a little jagged line to finish off the beak. And from there, we're going to add a couple lines that curve outwards from the beak, here and here, like that. We're going to add the eyes in next, so we're going to draw one eye right here with sort of a leaf type shape, a sideways leaf. And we're going to add another eye about the same size coming in from the other side. Inside the eye, we're going to put a circle, almost like a marble floating inside the eye on both sides. And then another circle to represent a large pupil. Think about how big the pupils get on your cat when your cat is excited. If you have a cat, that is. We're going to add some lines to add some texture to the owl's face there. We're also going to add some lines coming out from the eyes to also suggest a kind of textured look to the owl, and come up here like that. Now the owl is clutching onto an envelope and we want that sort of pinching look. So we're going to put a line here here and here to suggest the pinching of the envelope. I'm going to move this up a little bit as we move down to the other part of the drawing. And we're going to focus on drawing the feathery body and then the bottom of the bird. So let's just extend that featheriness right here. And on this side, we're just gonna show a little bit of the featheriness coming in. Maybe I'll just slim that envelope just a little bit to add a little more room there for the bird's body to come in right about here. All right, now we're gonna come out first with just a light line. And again, I'm gonna move this up so you can see a light line to suggest the wing. We're gonna have some large U-shaped tail feathers coming out over here. And then here, we're just gonna start creating U-shapes that go up to the bird's body and the envelope, and we're just gonna overlap those U-shapes like this. Add some more over here. Again, coming up. And you're gonna want to just sort of stop it right about here in the line that we're doing, because you're gonna leave sort of the chest of the bird free over here. So I'm gonna come over here. And maybe I'll put one more there, and a little one there. Okay. Below the envelope, thinking of the line continuing across the envelope down to here, we're gonna add that feathery ending to the bird's body. And now moving up here, we're going to add the feet and what the owl is standing upon, kind of a rocky surface. So we're going to add two little diagonals like that with a raggedy, same kind of raggedy, feathery finish that we had before. We're going to show one claw coming out here, come around here to make it feel like another claw, and maybe a third claw right there. And what is he holding on to? He's sort of, sitting on a rocky surface. So we're just going to put some lines here that suggest there's a kind of rocky surface that he's attached to. So that basically is the drawing, except for just a few jagged lines, again, to suggest some feathers over there. That is basically the drawing that we're going to do of Hedwig. Now what I'd like you to do is take a moment to go back. You may want to stop the video after you see this next little scene. Go ahead and outline Hedwig. Go over all those pencil lines you just made. Don't worry if you wobble out of a pencil line like I just did there, because what you should do after you've pretty much outlined all the pencil lines is just take your eraser, and I like to use one of these separate erasers, and just go back in and erase the pencil underneath the marker or whatever is still visible. So I'm just going to do the top of Hedwig's face here, with the lines coming out, accentuating his eyes, his beak, top of his head. And I'm going to stop there. I'm going to let you now stop the video. Maybe I'll just do the edge of the envelope here. Stop the video here. Go back. Finish outlining all of Hedwig, the envelope and the ground line. And then I'll come back and I'll walk you through how to apply the color. Okay, welcome back. So at this time, you've probably finished outlining your Hedwig and the details of the envelope, the ground, and you're ready to add color. Now, in my Hedwig, you might remember from the beginning, I really focused on using a beautiful, brilliant neon theme. My choice, doesn't have to be your choice. And to get that neon look, I actually used highlighters, which I love because they give you a bright, bold color. and I just enjoy it. So I use those, but feel free to use color pencils in a bright color range. Or of course, if you have some bright markers, they have some fun neon markers they make, that's great. And listen, you use what you have at home. If you have crayons, that of course could work too. So let's get started with the color. And we're going to start with Hedwig's face. And as I said, I'm going to be using these highlighters. And the fun thing about highlighters is you can build up color through overlapping. So I'm going to start with a little green here in the center. And I'm going to bring in some of this fun neon yellow, which is going to just blend beautifully with the green there. And I'm going to finish up with some fun neon pink, which too is going to blend beautifully with the yellow, creating kind of an orange where they overlap and touch. I'm going to go all the way out to the edges. I'm not going to worry if I get outside of Hedwig's head a little bit, because later on I'm going to cut out Hedwig and show how you can get a brilliant effect by putting Hedwig on some dark paper. So we have this green to yellow to pink. I'm going to continue the pink around the eyes here. Again, just because I really like the look of that. So I'm going to do that. But I'm going to go out again and bring some more colors in for contrast and blending. So there's some pink. Here's something really fun. If you bring in blue, you're going to get a really great purple. And just like with color mixing, when you take your primaries and do that, you're going to get a purple. So I'm going to keep my pink out, bring the pink down here a little bit around the eyes, just to continue that sort of halo of pink around the eyes. And then I'm going to bring the blue in again to kind of get that great purple effect like that. Then I just decided I want to continue the pink all the way out to the edges of Hedwig's head. So I'm going to bring that purple in again, right up to this little envelope edge like this. Bring the purple in like that, all the way down to that first layer of feathers. So I have that little line that stops. Let's go in and add some color to Hedwig's eyes. I'm going to make the iris a green. The pupil, just like a human pupil, would be black, but I'm going to leave a little highlight in that eye. So just a little bit that's not going to be colored. And then I'm going to use more of that pink below the eye like that. So there's his eyes. You might want to use a yellow. Maybe I want to put a little yellow over there and make it more of an orange. I could do that just to change it up a bit. Now, I'm going to go on to bringing a little bit more of that green in again, because I really like that green down here. And the beak, I've decided to make it a blue. Now I really like the envelope and I want to make it really bold. So I'm going to use that neon yellow and get it right in here into the envelope. This is probably one of the more time-consuming parts of the drawing, but I think the effect of the bright yellow really is fun against all the pastels and the bird. And I also think the idea of using one big solid in the picture makes sense to me. I mean, you could have fun with making the triangle right here a different color, if you will. Like maybe you want to make it, you know, a pink or a blue to kind of play up the idea of the playful colors going on in this picture. But I'm going to leave that up to you for your thinking. But for me, and also for expediency of making this film so I can show you all the steps, I'm going to stick with just this neon yellow. Nice thing about this kind of marker, it has a chisel tip, so it's got that angle which is helpful for filling in bigger areas quickly. So we're just going to come over here, finish up this part like this. Almost done with that envelope. As I said, probably the most time consuming part, because everything else is blending and using lots of different colors. Okay, so that's pretty good. I could touch it up later. I'm gonna make bright pink for the flower, because again, I like the contrast of the hot pink against the yellow. I'm gonna put a little, whoopsie, put a little purple in the center. Now, going back to the wings, I'm going to bring that yellow out again. And this time I'm going to blend color into the wings gradually, starting first with some yellow that goes all the way down. But notice I'm not coloring in the whole wing. I just want to get the ends of the feathers here in the yellow range. Then I'm going to bring in a new color. I'm going to bring some blue in and get that really pretty green where they overlap. So again, using the overlapping color mixing of the highlighters to get that color in. Then I'm going to bring the pink back in, and we'll get that amazing purple, which is my favorite. Right here. And then we're going to start with the yellow again. So we'll do some yellow. And get that in there. A little bit down here, in between. Over here. I'm going to move my picture up so you can see what I'm doing. We're going to go back to the blue. Get that green started. So you can work your way down doing this. Just maybe create your own pattern of colors that you like. I'm doing the, the yellow, blue, pink pattern, just because I like it. I like the transitions colors. Then after pink, I'm going to go back to the yellow again, of course. Maybe I'll just blend a little bit in here, go a little further maybe, so it starts to even out a bit. The blue. Okay. And then, for the tail feathers, I decided I'm just going to use one color. Sort of like I did for the envelope. I just stuck with the yellow. I'm just going to stick with 3 pink feathers to kind of add a finish. And then also for the bird's belly, chest area, whatever you will call it, I'm going to use the pink to quickly, because after you had a lot of pattern of colors, it's nice to bring a solid to kind of calm everything down. Like, oh, you're going all over the place with those colors. Let's calm it all down. And don't want to forget over there. So I'm going to go back to the top and start with the yellow. Then we had the blue coming in like that. And then, of course, we had that bit of pink. So let's make sure that gets in there. And I'm going to take just, again, one color for down here for the second ruffly patch. I'm going to put that just in the blue. Like that. And then I'm going to put some green feet. So again, just picking up the colors I've used already, bringing them back in. This will be the claws of the bird. Okay, and then for the bottom, I'm going to bring in some pink. All right, down to the bottom here. And some pink. this. Almost done there, right to the edge. I'm gonna do some blue and maybe this whole area, again for expediency and you know, just to make sure I get done quickly. I'm just gonna bring all of this into the blue range. I've turned my paper sideways to make it a little easier. Again, you're gonna probably wanna take your time more than I am, but I wanna make sure I get done. I would probably go back and put another layer of blue on this. But again, just to show you, basically there is the blue-pink bottom, the deli, the envelope, the bird. So we're gonna stop right here, and I have one more step that is totally optional. You may wanna have a pair of scissors for the next step, and we will finish off our bird. See you in a minute. Okay, so at this point, you've probably finished coloring your owl, and you're ready for the next step. And this is totally optional, but what I like to do is I like to get a pair of scissors, cut out my owl. And I do this because I'm all about the contrast. I really love the way the contrast of the bright and colorful owl looks against dark paper. I like to use black, but you can use any color you like. Anything in the dark. A dark midnight blue would look really cool. A bold dark red. Anything that would create that great contrast to the owl. I'm just going to cut that piece off. Get that out of the way. Okay, just got a little bit more to cut here around the ground shape. And of course, around these tricky little feathers. So it's my own fault for doing all the tricky shapes here, right? Can't blame anybody else but myself. But you see, it's taken me less than, I don't know, 2 minutes to cut this out. It doesn't really take that long. Just take your time and let the scissors do the work. You don't need to really move your hands so much as move the paper. Oopsie, I got a little piece here I need to get rid of. Didn't come off before, and this one needs a little snip. Okay, so I'm just gonna curl these down so that we have this nice owl shape. Bring in your black paper, a little bit of glue. I just think I use some glue stick. Get a nice seal there, and there you go. I'll show you one that I already glued down earlier. At the beginning of the program, you saw this one, and you have yourself a beautiful Hedwig the Owl. So thank you so much for joining me today. This is Doris Benter of Library Arts, and I hope that I can join you for a program again in the future. Bye.